Coach, how you doing, Coach? Coach, I'll die for you, Coach. I just want you to believe in me. I just want you to believe in me. Let's go to the Lions.
And they basically told me if I'm there, it's a possibility they're going to take me. So I had my phone right next to me, ringer on all the way up. Kept checking it, I was nervous, but when I got that call, it was just, I don't even know how to describe it, the feeling.
The Lions take one of my favorite players in this draft class, Isaac TeSlass out of Arkansas. I'm giving this an A+. Almost 6'4", 214 pounds, ran a 4.43 in the combine.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Ahmed Hassanein Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. A Lions Talk Live midday show event week, and we've got a little bit of news, updates about a couple different things. As you could tell from the thumbnail for this one, we got a few different topics that have kind of emerged for the Detroit Lions. We might even try to show a little bit of video of one particular catch on the Lions' number one or expected to be number one DB. We'll get into that. We'll see how bad YouTube drops the elbow on me. But anyways, before we get into that, before we get into the 5 headlines now and everything else in between, if you haven't yet subscribed to the Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're making that march for 14,300 subs. We are roughly 91 subs away from it, so if you can help out with that, man, I sure would be thankful. Also, if you have a free second of time, it won't cost you a dang dime. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but most certainly never least, if you are someone who enjoys reading, perhaps, and maybe you just want something, maybe a historical fictional novel, to perhaps put your eyes onto and read, take you through on an emotional, mental journey, then go to Amazon.com or wherever you find great reading literature and go order yourself a copy of Kajora Book. It is the first in a 9-part series. The second one is being released, I believe, in about 3 more months. So if you want, go ahead and get on it, order it. See what you think. This is historical fictional, so the events are actually historically accurate. The people within, maybe not as much. But Native American and Japanese cultures meet about 1,000 years before Christ comes onto the earth. And you know what? Maybe go check it out. And if you like it, leave a kind review. All right, with all that done, set away, let's get this show rocking and rolling and going. I think we got some topics to talk about, especially during the 5 headlines. Now, no, I don't see the Lions trading Brian Branch, but I know that came up a ton in the last 48 hours. But you know what? One never knows. We'll dive into it and get it all going with 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming at you. 1, 2, 3. Former NFL GM pitches ex-Penn State star Micah Parsons trade proposal to Lions. Story by Douglas Santo of the Sporting News, and we got inundated with this yesterday. We went on the air, talked with Hutch Jr., Kurt the Hitman Steele, and we all just talked about it. Does anybody watching think the Lions, Brad Holmes, is really going to pull the trigger on a Micah Parsons trade, a Trey Hendrickson trade? I know Valetti over at 97.1 The Ticket also brought this up recently, saying that he would go for Trey Hendrickson. He would give up Brian Branch. He can't pay both safeties. I understand that, but here's what I would say as a GM. There's 2 ways to look at it. We'll see what you guys think of it as we go through it. The Lions, I think everybody watching the shows agrees, are a Super Bowl contender. Do you think Parsons would give you that much more firepower to win a Super Bowl, let alone make a Super Bowl, versus having Brian Branch on the team? I'll let you guys debate that. Now, when it comes to Trey Hendrickson, kind of the same situation, because there are some saying the Lions should trade Brian Branch to Cincinnati along with some draft capital to get Trey Hendrickson. I have no idea. I'll let you guys debate it. If it was me as the GM, I probably would be skipping the picks and acquiring some people, but I would not be giving up Brian Branch. Part of this particular story, though, is a trade proposal from a former NFL GM. He does say that he wants to go ahead and trade Brian Branch along with the Detroit Lions first and second round pick for Micah Parsons. Do I think, Mike Tannenbaugh, former NFL GM, is correct with that? I don't think it'd be a bad trade, but I also look at what you're going to have to pay Parsons, what you'd be giving up in draft capital. Yes, some would be correct in saying, well, you can save some money towards applying it to Micah Parsons by not having to pay those draft picks. And I get that. There is some level of validity to it. I also get it's expected, but you never know, that next year's NFL salary cap is going to go up 23, 27 million, somewhere in that range. Would it put the Lions over the top? If you're sticking with what we know of what the Lions are anticipated to be doing on defense and what we've done in the past with Aaron Glenn, I would say probably Trey Hendrickson makes more sense. Maybe you save a little bit of money. Micah Parsons, though, he's no slouch. I just don't like giving up a strength to your team, Brian Branch, in order to get another strength to the team. I see why everybody would be enticed by either one of these trades. Let me know in the comments section. Would you go for it? What would you give up for it? I feel like we've been talking about these trade options for months now, and we have been, let's be fair. This is the next one that's come up. Yes, we did a video on it. Yes, Pat McAfee had whatever it was, the 4 to 7 teams he knows. They've been talking with the Dallas Cowboys about potential trades. I have no doubt every NFL GM who's not a part of the Dallas Cowboys have called and said, hey, what would it take to get them? That's just part of doing your business, doing your due diligence, etc. Whether or not the Lions are going to acquire that said individual, Micah Parsons, I don't know. I would say if it was me, I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably a 1 out of 10 opportunity for the Detroit Lions to make that move. But you know what? Maybe Brad Holmes does say it's time to get rid of these draft picks. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions prediction 2025 game-by-game schedule picks, stored by Matt Johnson of Sportsnet. We haven't had Sportsnet on here in a while, so let's go into it. Let's see what they're going to say. Let me get this all set up here. Sorry, and I want to try to... dang it, man. Buttons, and more buttons. Sorry, guys. I'm messing up a little bit here. All right, let me see if we can get this all set for you guys. I'm almost there. All right, week 1. I think it's week 1. All right, let's go with it. It's not loading correctly. All right, anyways, week 1, he's got the Detroit Lions losing to the Green Bay Packers. Gives the score of Green Bay 27, Detroit Lions 24. Week 2 sees the Lions get right in at 1-1 with a 28-17 beat down of the Chicago Bears. I'll take that anytime we can, although I prefer going 2-0 to start the year. But you know what? He didn't ask me. Week 3, Baltimore Ravens, a loss, has the Ravens winning 27-20. Lions now at 1-2. Week 4 against Cleveland Browns, Lions get right at 500 with a 2-2 record, 28-13 over the Browns. Week 5 against Cincinnati. Hey, I like this one. Detroit 35, the Bengals 28. Lions now at 3-2. Next is Kansas City. Hey, how about this? Detroit is going to win 24-21. 4-2 are your Detroit Lions. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're going to lose according to this report. Buccaneers 31, Detroit 27. Lions now at 4-3. Minnesota Vikings, and you know what? A 5-3 record after the Detroit Lions win 27-24. Man, maybe JJ is going to keep them around. All right, then we go to the Washington Commanders. A little bit of a revenge tour game for the Lions. Lions have improved to 6-3 overall with a 34-24 victory over the Commanders. Week 11, Philadelphia. Lions win 7-3. Lions win, will have a 7-3 record. Detroit Lions 31, Philadelphia Eagles 28. Week 12, probably not a big surprise here. Lions 31, the G-Men 17, 8-3 is the Lions record. Next on the list would be the Green Bay Packers. And you know what? Lions get a revenge game here, improved to 9-3 overall in week 13 with a 28-20 victory over the Pack. Week 14, Dallas Cowboys, the Lions win, go to 10-3, 31-21 against Jerry's team. Week 15, Los Angeles Rams, Lions going to drop this one, go to 10-4. Prediction, Los Angeles Rams 20, Lions 17. It's unfortunate, but you know what? You can't win every game, I guess. Let's see, week 16 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, 11-4 is the result after a 23-13 victory over the Steel Curtain. Minnesota Vikings, week 17. Minnesota wins. Lions maybe rest some guys here if it's an opportunity for them. Minnesota wins 28-24. Man, I would not have guessed that one, but week 18, ending the season, Chicago Bears win. Lions win over the Chicago Bears. Let me reword that. And 12-5 regular season record. Detroit Lions have a 31-24 victory over the Bears. So would you guys take that, a 12-win season? I think most of us would. Let's see what you guys have to say, though. All right, Lions star throws a bit of shade, throw a bit of shade at Ben Johnson, reusing Detroit plays. Story by Avion Alford of Fanside. So if you watch the Chicago Bears preseason game, yeah, you saw, even though I didn't watch the whole game, I just watched parts of it, you can see the formations, the setups, everything's the same. This has led to a lot of people, including some Detroit Lions players, to say, did Ben Johnson really draw up these plays, or is he just taking John Morton's plays, Dan Campbell's plays, and now taking them to Chicago? Remember, Ben Johnson was worked with, developed, groomed, however you want to term it, by John Morton and MCDC. You know, there were some people even making water boy references, and I don't remember the coach's name, but I want to say basically they mixed it as a, crosstown rival program, took his playbook and everything and just said, all right, now that I got the plays, I can't come up with my own, but I'm going to use yours for 1,000 years. And that's what some of the Lions are now pointing out about Ben Johnson. He can't come up with his own stuff. It's, quote, funny watching the same plays that we ran. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, both took shots at him, kind of playfully during Up and Adams recently when that show was there in Detroit doing a broadcast. I think it was like 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago. You can watch this online. You can go to X or you can go to Up and Adams, but you do see a lot of detailed information from the Lions players saying, man, it's funny. We know what's going to happen here. And they also throw out there, man, if you're playing the Chicago Bears, just rewatch our games in the last few seasons. You'll see the same formations, same setups. I would say as a coach, that's not incredibly uncommon for a coach to reuse plays from one situation to the next. To do it to the extent that Ben Johnson is doing it so far, though, that's a little bit of a eyebrow raise. But you know what? It doesn't matter what you do on offense or defense. If the other team can't stop it, that's all that matters. Those of you old enough to remember Vince Lombardi, the Green Bay Packers, he was infamous for saying, we only have 7 plays on offense. Can you stop them? At the end of the day, if you can't stop them, we're not going to stop running them. So keep that in mind. All right, next to 5 headlines now. Ahmed Hassanein pec injury update and recovery outlook. This is from Lions Wire, story by Jimmy Lotto, MD, Lions Wire. All right, you guys have been asking for this, so I try to get you a bit of a more firm update. Now, again, we won't know the full diagnosis, or at least it's not anticipated until later this week. Lions are still doing some more tests, waiting for some results. The pec injury video game, I guess you could say, was August 16th. So the concern is that there could be a massive tear to it, but they don't have that fully understood yet what the amount of the injury is. Yes, Hassanein did reveal on his social media that at this point, surgery's been taken off the board. So Jimmy Lotto went through and started looking at a return timeline. Based on the type and level grade of the tear, here are some comparables that we can use as Lion fans to try to have a rough idea. Frank Ragnow, 2024, returned in just 3 weeks. So, I mean, Frank the Tank, I get it, man. You could probably chop a leg off and he would regrow a leg within probably 2 to 3 weeks. So he's just a rare human being in that he can get injured and recoup or at least battle through it in fast order. Marcus Williams returned in 4 weeks. That was in 2023. And then TJ Watt, similar injury, or at least let me rephrase that, believed to be the same injury. It took him 9 weeks to get back. So the Lions are going to continue testing on it. The bottom line is Hassanein could return anywhere from week 3 in September to 3 months. Where that's going to be, who knows? Again, until they get full results back on this and reveal it, we're all guessing when he's going to be back. He is a prized rookie to Lions fans because let's face it, he's got a hype train. He's got a freight train behind him as far as just everybody's expectations for the kid. Will he live up to that? I don't know, but I do know this as a coach. We're talking about him, any injured player, the more time you miss, the less time you have to get reps, the less time you have to develop. And while I don't have huge expectations for Ahmed Hassanein this year, I have some expectations he's going to grow, develop because of the way he's wired, the way he plays, the nonstop go, that he would make an impact further in the season. But if he's missing reps, he's missing snaps, opportunities to develop, work with the coaches, then that's going to slow that down, not just for this year, but to a certain degree next year. And that was my thing with the Rakestraw injury. He's missed so much time his rookie year and now his sophomore year. This is really going to stunt his growth. Will he be able to still turn things around? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see with both these guys, but I'm rooting for them both. It will be interesting, I would say, to see if the Lions put Hassanein on the IR or if they just do what they can with him, keep him around, keep him on the active roster, and then that would probably be a sign that he's anticipated to be back sooner versus later. All right, let's go to the next and final of the 5 headlines now. Isaac TeSlass stuns DJ Reed with highlight catch at Detroit Lions practice. You know what? I'm going to see if YouTube will put me in a timeout for doing this. But if they do, then I guess they do. But all right, let me see if I can try to get this on screen here. All right, they're fighting me on it a little bit. Share screen. All right, 1 second here. All right, boom, boom, boom. All right, we're going right along here. All right, let me get down to the video. But for those who don't know, Tesla, you know, he's had a pretty good go of things. Oh, man, they are fighting me on this. All right, here we go. There you go. That's on one-on-one drills. You know I talked about it before. Some of you guys are like, man, you know, I know you guys talked about Alex Anzalone getting roasted by, everybody who was going up against in one-on-one drills. One-on-one drills are tough for any defender because you don't know the route, you don't know the play, you're just reacting to what you see. But Tesla, you know, you keep putting this guy in situations, he keeps winning. Whether in preseason games or now that he's being used against the number 1 defense, guess what he's doing? He's still making plays. And again, take it with a little bit of a grain of salt because these are one-on-one drills and they're aimed for the most part to be something for the offense to take advantage of. Defenders, though, if you can handle this, if you can lock somebody down, you're probably a dang good defender or that offensive player is not much of a threat. All that being said, this growing amount of freight train hype behind this kid just keeps growing. Everybody keeps debating. I know we talked about it recently with Kurt Steele and other YouTube content creators. When are we going to see Tesla in the field? Is he going to be the number 3 receiver, the number 5 receiver come opening day? I don't know, but I think there's probably more and more growing optimism that he is going to be used more and more early in the season than most people would have anticipated even a month ago, especially in the red zone. He is a bigger body. He can go get it. He can go places most DBs, just for the physical aspects of the DBs, they can't go up there. Yeah, most defensive backs in the NFL are going to be about 5'10". All right, Tesla's got, 6 inches on him, plus he's got vertical. It becomes a math problem, and you put him out there with Tim Patrick. Don't forget Jameson Williams is 6'2". Sam Laporta, who returned, by the way, to Lions practice yesterday. You get it. In the red zone, if most of these DBs are under 6 foot, they've got a problem trying to go to places they physically can't go defending them. Another weapon in the red zone is going to help the Detroit Lions offense. And I do think Tesla, I don't know if he's going to be a day 1, number 3 wide receiver for us, but I do think as the season progresses, you're going to see multiple packages out there just because the physical aspect of things, the math behind things. You can only take away so many options from any offense. And if you can't get pressure on the quarterback, if the running game's holding up or those second layer of the defense has to come up and respect that, I think Jared Goff could have a real big season, and that includes Tesla having big numbers. All right, let's get out of that and get over to the main topic of the day. It's going to be kind of a combination of different things. It's not going to be a singular topic, but on the count of 3, let's get over to it. Let's get into the main topic of the day. All right, as you can see from the thumbnail, we've already kind of talked about a couple of these topics. So, just not a huge news day for the Lions, but the Lions did get some big news with Tesla's development, with it, what seems like with Ahmed Hassanein possibly being able to return sooner versus later. Dan Campbell, when he first had the story out there, he did say it could be out a while. There was some speculation, there were some kind of innuendos that it could be for the season. I think at this point we can take Ahmed Hassanein's injury for the season off the board, but it doesn't mean he can't miss a significant portion of the season. With that also being said, there was a report that came out late last night or this morning that perhaps the Lions do have some trade value when it comes to one of their quarterbacks. And no, it's not Jared Goff. It is Hendon Hooker. There are some reports suggesting that there is at least one team, possibly 2, that would like to acquire Hendon Hooker. If this happens, we've been talking about for a little bit of time here, Lions, when they get close to the cut-down day or maybe on cut-down day, could package a few different people to different teams for, conditional draft picks, 6th-round pick, 7th-round pick. One of the teams out there are the Tennessee Titans. Apparently, their fan base is actually clamoring for Hendon Hooker to come home. For those who don't know, he played college ball down there. He's a bit of a legend, and they think, in a nutshell, a number of their sports providers, content creators, they think the Lions are just not using him correctly or underusing him, not putting him in a win-win situation. And because of that, they'd like to see their team acquire him. Now, whether or not the Tennessee Titans actually feel like he's somebody to acquire, that's a different conversation in itself. But I do think there's enough thoughts out there from other GMs. You think about like Trey Lance when he was I guess ruled not an option anymore for the 49ers. You had teams trying to acquire him, and Dallas Cowboys did acquire him. You see his growth and development. I do think it's possible somebody takes a flyer on Hendon Hooker. Maybe it's the Titans. I don't know. But I do think somebody is going to come calling on him if the Lions are really going to part ways with him. We're also in the next, several days probably going to get a lot of talk about the Lions trading this guy and that guy. We'll wait and see what happens when it happens, like we started talking about during the opening monologue with Micah Parsons. Do I actually think the Lions are going to go for him? No, I don't. But you never know, I guess. If Brad Holmes really says, hey, I can package this and that and get somebody else, I think it's more likely the Lions add some mid-tiers, late-round people to maybe improve spots 45 through 53 on the roster. That seems more logical to me. Those spots, in my view, are probably going to be some sort of interior offensive alignment. I think we're decent at backup tackle. I don't know if we're great, but we're decent. Same with some of the guards. I also think you're going to probably try to add maybe one more cornerback and then maybe one more defensive end. Whether that's Darius Smith, who knows? I don't know. If he signs here, great. I think that'd be a big win for us, but I have nothing concrete written in stone or whatever that Zadarius Smith is, in fact, going to re-sign with Detroit Lions. So I think the Lions could package some of these guys they're going to cut and send them somewhere else. All right, let's get to the Duke Crew, see what you guys have to say about all this, and maybe just a little bit more. Let me scroll to the top of the screen. And yes, I have altered the camera view to try to help out, as it's become pointed out to me in the recent days. We do have some viewers that are deaf that want to read lips or prefer reading lips. So I try to make that a little bit easier for them. Hope that helps, guys. All right, Bo Booth, good morning, Duke Crew. Three Musketeers, question mark. Woo, I'll take that 100%. Who doesn't like a Three Musketeers? Johnny L., good morning, folks, and back at you. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. What time to be a Lions fan. Woo, and you're not wrong. We're under 3 weeks from the start of the regular season. Johnny L., here we go. Oh, yeah, back at you. Drake, why would anyone want to trade for Hooker? Question mark. He has shown nothing. Am I missing something? I think if somebody wants to trade for him, it's because, there is potential there. You hear from every Lions reporter who's physically at training camp. You watch him in practices, he looks pretty good, or at least better than the preseason games. The preseason games, for whatever reason, maybe it's just nerves. Maybe it's because he's got, Kyle Allen breathing down his neck. He feels some stress and pressure. It's probably not a great thing for a quarterback if you get rattled by that, and I'm not saying it is that. But I could see why somebody would say, hey, we'll give you a conditional 7th-round pick for Hendon Hooker. We're going to kick the tires on him and see what we can get out of him. Now, will the Lions feel like, hey, we are willing to get rid of him? That might be the bigger question because, as you guys know, you get to keep a few amount of people on the practice squad and keep them protected. Other teams can't poach them. I do wonder if the Lions' emergency quarterback or number 3 quarterback would be a practice squad person that you can protect and, you can just keep them around. Any more traded? Question mark. That was fast! Exclamation point. So why is he going to replace him? That I don't know. If you were going to trade Hendon Hooker, who would you bring in? It's probably not going to be Jake Fromm at this point. If they haven't brought him back by now, they're probably not going to bring him back. Been wrong before, but I think if the Lions are going to swap quarterbacks, trade Hendon Hooker, add another number 3, it's somebody we're probably not considering of right now. Johnny, who took him? We'll find out. Let's see, Pierce. Any updates on the report yesterday regarding Parsons? Just the ones I gave you during the 5 headlines now, Pierce. I mean, is he a great talent? Yes. But would you, I guess everybody's going to view this differently. I would not give up a great talent, Brian Branch, to acquire another great talent. I like Parsons to death. Do I think he impacts the game vastly more than Brian Branch? My opinion is no. You can have a different opinion. I understand also Mike Valletti's thoughts that, man, I'm not paying 2 safeties huge money. But at the same point, you look at the safeties. You look at Brian Branch. He's a cornerback and a safety and a linebacker. He plays all 3 spots. He's not a defensive lineman, at least not yet. Kirby Joseph, I think, is a little bit more one-dimensional, although I was really impressed with him last year that he started playing some slot cornerback. and you look at what the Lions defense has done this year, there's a ton of guys that fit what I just described. Let's not forget Terrion Arnold and Enos Rakestraw, both in college, played safety and corner. You look at Meek Robinson, I think he can do it to a certain level, and the vast majority of them can. The Lions clearly have tried to go to a secondary that is positional-less for the most part, and that's why I think there's real more upside value to keeping them both because of that. Parsons, I mean, yeah, the dude can get after the quarterback. He's a monster and everything, but is he a defensive end in the Lions system? Probably, I think most of us would say no. He is a linebacker. He could be a Sam. He could be a nightmare coming in on blitzes for sure. I just don't know if he impacts the game more than Brian Branch. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Pierce, in regard to Hooker, can we get more than half a case of Mountain Dew? Ooh, that's a burning question right there. Johnny L, and what did we get for him? We haven't gotten anything yet. We haven't traded yet. Let's see. Cynthia, good morning all. Please keep North Carolina in your thoughts and prayers. Will do. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, North Carolina is getting hit from what I've heard. Johnny L, yeah, North Carolina. Correct with that. Bo, I hope the Man of Steel is okay in North Carolina. Yeah, anybody watching the show, if you're down that way, let us know how you're doing. How are things down there? Hopefully everybody is doing well. Jess, greetings, salutations. Look, I get we need to talk about the trade, but options, but Brad ain't going for Trey or Parsons. It would be the most un-Brad-like move. I would agree. Yep, I get he talks to all the teams, but no, he makes the move. Yeah, it's standard practice, any sport, for every general manager to talk to every other team just to test the waters, keep relationships going, set up something for the future, maybe not always the now. Cynthia, Johnny L, yes, Hurricane Aaron, there you go. Bo, really big storm surge there, Johnny L. Hopefully everything is okay. Yeah, oh, my bad. Yeah, me too, man. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. I may be alone with this, but I hope Martin makes the team. We can hate that he hasn't produced before, but he seems to be turning the corner. I agree. I do think the last 2 to 3 weeks, he's looked significantly better. Now, that's based on what we see in the preseason games. I have no idea what he's looking like in practice. I'm not there. But if he's holding that up and you feel like the trend is his friend where he's getting better and better, I would struggle to cut him. Now, could he be one of the 4 people you keep protecting the practice squad? That's possible. But right now, I'd say I prefer younger players with more upside than veterans that probably plateaued. That's just my view. Cynthia, love for the Detroit Lions is everywhere. Exclamation point. Woo! And I agree. Jess, Kurt was on the show last night praying for all those in the area to they be safe. Yeah, 100%. Hope everybody is okay. Cynthia, just thanks. Exclamation point. No worries. Let's see. Cynthia, I didn't realize Mr. Steele was here also. Yes, he does live there. Where? I don't know, though, in North Carolina. Trey, what's good, everybody? I agree with Kurt. Coach Dan and Hutch Jr. will make a move just before or after cutdown day. I doubt it'll be a big name trade. Yeah, that's probably more where I'm leaning, that you'll package some things for other things and try to increase your depth in certain spots. Gary, morning all, and happy update. Back at you. Stephanie, he is. Cynthia, how are things in North Carolina right now? Question mark. We'll find out. Clark, yo, what up, Duke crew? May the best 53 players make the team, not just because we want depth at that position. Yeah, and MCDC talks about a lot. He likes, versatility in players, not people that can just only play one spot, but people you can move around the board as needed, which is part of the depth I think they're trying to build across the board of offensive line, defensive line. How often have we talked about on the defensive line, these guys like Mekhi Wingo, he can play defensive end and tackle. Cooper Jr., defensive end and tackle. They're going to be better in some spots than others, but the fact that they give you that kind of breadth, and we were just talking about it with Brian Branch and some of the secondary, I think it's a massive win for any depth chart on any team. Johnny L, this is fun. You got to love fun, man. Big Eddie, good morning, Duke crew. What's the update on Hassanein? And now you know it. Knowing is half the battle, but until we get a real update on the full extent of the injury, like we were saying during the 5 headlines, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 3 months. We're all playing guessing games right now. Johnny L, this whole season is going to be fun. I like the way you're thinking. I think it's going to be a phenomenal year for the Lions. Doesn't mean we'll go undefeated, although we haven't taken that off the board yet, have we? But I think it's going to be a real good year for the Lions. Gary, can't wait for the return of Big Ben. All right, Big Ben, we'll see him. Pierce, we need edge help. I'll go with that. Johnny L, yes, we do, Pierce. Pierce, Big Z camp is pretty much over. Sign that down the line. It does make you wonder the longer it goes. I mean, I get some of you guys are saying after week 1 of the regular season where the contract isn't fully secure, all that stuff. It could be that. We'll find out in time. Dave, I don't always get a chance to watch things live, but I watch the show all the time. Thanks to the countless efforts of this channel. Go Lions! Exclamation point. Back at you. Hey, thanks for being a part of the Duke Crew, Dave. You're welcome here anytime. Carrie Z will be here. I like the way you're thinking. Hookadoo. Good morning, Duke Crew. One pride worldwide. Hooker is gone. He is working on a street corner now. I wonder where he went. We'll find out. I think they're going to give him the full game of the last, regular preseason game. I think they're going to let him just play it out, see what happens. See if he can impress. If not, then maybe he is gone. Pierce, with Hassanein injured and Pascal having health problems, it's not just Davenport now. The depth behind him is gone. It is a little beat up. Pascal, we still don't know. We're all anticipating what it is. But the Lions, if it is what some of you are thinking it is, they're not going to reveal that. At least I would hope not, out of respect for him and the family. Johnny L. Z, come home. We'll see if they bring him home. Dave, I would be very satisfied if Smith resigned with us. I think most of the Lions fans would be. Cynthia, good morning. Stephanie, depending where you live, it's the calm before the storm. I haven't had to evacuate here, but I do live on the coast, and they say the tropical storm will hit this afternoon. Well, be safe, my friend. Do everything you need to do to take care of you and yours. Hatman, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Made it to a morning live show thanks to my dog for pushing out the window screen to go play with a skunk. Oof, that's one way to start your day. Thoughts and prayers for you, my friend. Power through it. Jason, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew from the enemy territory in the land of purple. Well, stay safe behind enemy lines, my friend. Can't wait for the Tree of Destiny. Stephanie, thanks for asking. Let's see, Hookadoo. Good morning, Johnny L. and Pierce, the Grip Brothers. Yes, that's yes, Z in the D. Let's bring some D to the Z. How about that? Quentin, greetings, salutations, y'all. Down for a few more weeks. Yeah, we only got a few more weeks to go. Johnny L, haha, Hatman, Pierce, Hookadoo, good morning, exclamation point. Susan Scott, welcome back, Hatman, Hookadoo, yeah, Cynthia, stay safe. Yeah, everybody down in North Carolina, be safe, my friends. Bo, Hatman, did the dog get skunked? Ooh, we'll find out. Hatman, thank you, Susan Scott. Johnny L, grit morning to you, Hookadoo. Cynthia, thanks, Hookadoo. 5 fingers ready. What moves do we think the team could really make before the season begins? I think Za'Darius coming back is a definite possibility. Other than that, probably just trading off some parts for more depth pieces for us or future draft considerations. Pierce, 5 fingers Freddy, Big Z. Who doesn't want a Big Z? Let's see, Lauren. Dang, y'all, I tried to get here early. You are here early, or I can see from the timestamp you were here early. Hatman, oh yeah, baking soda and peroxide baking soda down dish soap does the trick, though. Well, good luck with that, my friend. Lauren, good morning, Duke Crew, back at you. Sosmo, if you're not 15 minutes early, then you're late, Lauren. Ooh, that might be accurate. Hookadoo. Hatman, is Pepe Le Pew part of the FA? We'll find out. Family now, Hatman. Okay. Part of the family now, Hatman. I got you. Amy Spray, good morning, Dan. The ultra fabulous Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Just curious, how did they decide the 53 players on a permanent team? Is there something that adds up to 53 goal lines? So, Amy, I guess the way to Scooby-Doo it is, how many players do you want to keep at each position? Who do you feel like are the top players of those positions you want to keep? At the end of the day, however you slice and dice it, you can only have 53. Lions do have one roster exempt because of the Hassanein situation, because he's kind of considered a foreign player. But with that being said, that's why when we go through the 53-man projections, how many you're going to keep at the offensive line, defense line, et cetera, et cetera. Lauren, so long, I can tell. Johnny L, good morning to you. Also, Lauren, Bo, tomato juice used to be a thing for that, Hammond. I don't know if it really worked, though. Yeah, me neither, man. Thankfully, I haven't had to deal with it too often. Hatman, Hookadoo, yep, for the last week or so. Tori Apple, if we do trade Hooker, I can't see us getting much return. Yeah, I don't think you'd get a ton. Fair story, Apple. We would be lucky to get a case of Mountain Dew for Hooker. Man, I would make that trade, but I'm probably selfish like that. Lauren, now that the Bryce Perkins is picked up, maybe we should work out Jordan Taimu, or how about that? Hetman, Bo Booth, always use peroxide, and the other stuff works great. Okay, Johnny L, I will wish him well. Wish him well indeed. Henry Moore, I'll take a case of Baja Blast Zero. All right, I haven't tried that yet. Hookadoo, so much for Hooker being Goff's replacement. It doesn't seem like, at least currently, that's the case. Bobo, does that give the dog a bleach look? Ooh, inquiring minds want to know. Coach Rock, good morning all. Same to you. Amy, Hatman, most vets have a solution called Skunk Off. It should help if you have that problem. Best of luck with that. I'll go with that. Hookadoo, let's see. Same here, Johnny L. He's got to be pretty down in the dumps. Okay. Steve Rogers, good morning, crew. Same with you. Working on getting a defensive end and offensive tackle. I could see that, Kerry, 100%. Moonscar Blade, good morning. Duke Crew starting lineup. Back at you. How you doing today? Hookadoo, Rocky M, welcome to the room, Mr. Grit, room of grit. There you go. Exclamation point, Johnny L. Yeah, I do feel bad for him, Hookadoo. Jennifer, good morning, all. Same to you, Jennifer. Kerry, quarterback who will work itself out, probably accurate. Bo, history has not been kind to quarterbacks who drafted at 25 years of age or older. No, not many. There have been a few, but hey, there you go. Hatman, not all of the remorse of smell immediately, not removes the smell immediately. I've used this on 4 dogs, and it's a miracle cure for the smell. Add warm water with it, rinse off the dog. Yes, probably a good idea to rinse them off. Let's see, Coach Rock, good morning, Hookadoo. May the grit be with you and all Lions fans. I like the way you're thinking. Anymore, I had a friend that caught skunks, then took them to the vet and had their glands removed to sell them as pets. He had bad sinuses. Okay. Jonathan, good morning, everyone, and the Duke Crew and Coach Dan, back at you. How you doing today, my friend? Chris Steele, what up, though, Duke Crew? Exclamation point. Boss up, ball out today at 8 a.m. following Lions Talk Live. We'll check it out. Big D, morning crew. Kurt Steele, I had fun talking Parsons trade talks yesterday. Hey, thanks for jumping on. I know it was last minute, but I wanted to get it on. So thank you, my friend. Big D, all right, not sure all of that. We'll go on. Gary, there will be quarterbacks available at cut. Then maybe. But if somebody's willing to cut the quarterback, how good is the quarterback going to be? We'll have to find out. Maybe we get a diamond in the rough. Cynthia, good morning, Mr. Steele. You live in North Carolina? I think that's correct. Johnny L., good to hear from you, Mr. Steele. Coach Rock, good morning, Mr. Steele. Hookadoo, Henry, I'd hate to be his vet. It might be true. Jason, Dan, the man with the Lions plan, here to speak to the Lions fans, man. Exclamation point. I'm down with that. Kurt Steele, Cynthia, yes, Mama, and Spring Lake. See, Kurt Steele, Rock, good morning. Phil, good morning. Back at you. Kurt Steele, the good morning boss from Lauren. Cynthia, Kurt Steele, me too, live in Beaufort. All right, let's see, William, we talking about practice? Exclamation point, not a game, practice. This is correct. We are talking about practice. Kurt Steele, Lauren Van Etch, good morning. Hookadoo, glad you're okay, Kurt, and you too, Cynthia. Yes, 100% there. Carrie, hit the likes, only 32. Yeah, if you guys can hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit all the buttons. Hookadoo, thumbs up, shop the BTG. Good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew, exclamation point. What a time to be alive. Woo! Yes, I can't imagine another time because this is the only time I've ever been alive. Allegedly. Mike K, in Hendon we trust? I hope so, man. Marcus, here we go again with the BS rumors. I just report the headlines. I don't make the headlines. Silver Server, good morning, Coach and everyone. Back at you. Cynthia, Hookadoo, so far so good. Thanks. I'll take that. Man, Bear, Pig, you all know Brad always scouting for upgrades. Yeah, and that's one thing I think we all agree with Brad Holmes. He probably has a ton of conversations, and he has come out and admitted it after the case. You know, what was it? I know years ago when we talked about Sweat coming to the Lions from Washington, he admitted like a month or whatever it was later that, yeah, he had conversations, just got outbid by Chicago. He talked about Barnes from the Panthers, but obviously they didn't acquire him. If he doesn't get an offer he thinks is right, or a trade, I guess, a return that he thinks is the best interest of the team, he's not going to pull the trigger. He's not going to overpay. I think he's made that abundantly clear. You do that, and then everybody was jumping up and down. We traded whatever it was, 3 third-round picks for Teslaa. Everybody was like, man, that's too much. You're crazy. Brad doesn't know what he's doing. But now we see Teslaa on the field, and we're like, ooh, maybe Brad did know something. Big D, if ever trade branch, it should just be a straight-up swap, no picks involved. You know, if I guess that begs the question, would you trade Brian Branch straight up for Micah Parsons? You know, that comes down to everybody else. Let's see, Kerry, Man Bear Pig, correct? The same old superheated present. Hey, good to see you in the chat, my friend. Big D, they are both amazing players. I would agree with that. And that's why I would have a hard time parting with one of them. Rock, only trade for Parsons without giving up starters. What sense would it make to plug one hole and open another one? That's kind of where I'm at with it, Coach. Big D, Rock nailed it. I'll take that. Detroit hitter. We can't afford either of them, and neither of them will play without an extended contract. I agree with that. I know everybody's like, man, you know, the Bengals, you just get them for a one-year rental. Well, is he going to play on a one-year rental? Is he going to play without a new contract? I'm talking about, I guess, both Micah Parsons and Trey Hendrickson. Lauren, I wouldn't give up BB. Me neither, man. He is a lion. Kim, some fans have no clue about managing a team. Don't trade our Pro Bowlers. to pay big bucks and draft capital. We know a player can get hurt, and where does that leave you? Question mark. So glad Brad Holmes ignores the noise. Yeah, that's using Matt Millen as an example. Matt Millen knew football, listened to other people, regretted it. We all know how that went. Silver, can't believe we were talking about Parsons, but I wouldn't want to spoil anybody's dreams. Hey, some are going to dream, man. If you could get them without giving up current players, like just draft picks, I might consider it. But, that's just me. Cynthia, no way, exclamation point, Branch stays. Why would we trade for a maybe when you just got a sure thing? Good question. JC, great salutations, coach and crew. Keep BB, leave Trey and Micah where they are and sign Big Z. Let's bring them in. Liberal lady, I would not give up BB. I don't think many of us would. Xavier, good morning, Coach Dan. It's a good morning, Duke crew. Hope everyone is blessed. Go Lions. Woo! Exclamation point. Burns, a first and second plus Branch. Hex no. 3 players on a rookie deals for a $35 million a year player. Brad doesn't mess with first rounders. All our studs. Yeah, I'll go with that 100%. Hookadoo. Parsons would be really bad move. In your opinion, I concur with that opinion. Johnny L, I wouldn't give up anything for them. There you go. D Cat. Hey, wanted to say love the show. Watch every morning. New member about a month ago. Go Lions. This might be the year. Exclamation point. Take care, Duke crew. Hey, D Cat. Thanks for being a part of the Duke crew. Thanks for the kind words. Have a phenomenal day. Carrie, leave Parsons in Dallas. Hill. Michael, great comment. Kim, I'll go with that. DM5 TV, why not restructure contracts now and make a splash for Hendrickson or Parsons? Exclamation point. Restructuring cough because next year we'll negotiate negative against camp. We are, but I do think that will kind of take care of itself because if we leave all this cap space we currently have, we'll apply most of it to next year. I won't be surprised if a couple players' deals do get restructured as well. Check them. A great victory last night at Tigers game. 1-0 win by the Tigers. Congrats to the Tigers. Carrie, go Tigers. I'm down with that. Coach Rock, if the Lions were to pick up an impact player, bet those score predictions would change. Yes, I agree. A lot of predictions would change. 100%. William, it's not the draft picks. It's how we forward Micah and J-Mo, Hudson, Gibbs, Branch. Yeah, that would be part of it. I get everybody's thing that, you don't have to pay the draft picks then because you don't have them. The salary cap goes up, restructure this person, that person. I guess at the end of the day, anything's possible. The Rebel, greetings, salutations, coach and your crew. Back at you. Dre Day, can't win them all, question mark. Lions always win against Stafford. Ooh, shots fired. Static Dean, I feel we have enough to make it to the Super Bowl as we sit. I'm down with that. Getting Parsons or Hendrickson would be the nail in the coffin, but not at the expense of trading Branch. Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to trade Brian Branch, but I get people suggest it. Johnny L, I can't just wait for the season to finally start and to end all the speculation. Hey, man, let's be honest, Johnny. There's going to be speculation about moves before the trade deadlines, after trade deadlines. Who are the Lions going to draft? They're going to trade draft picks for this guy. It boosts up next year. I mean, it just doesn't ever go anywhere. That prick deserves the mud. We'll throw some mud at him. Dre Day, only time we lose playoffs playing Stafford is when he is playing for the Lions. Ooh. The Rebel, skip Ben over Johnson. We'll do that. Let's see. Silver. Why wouldn't Ben Johnson use his own plays? I mean, in his thinking, maybe those are his plays. I can only tell you guys in coaching, as long as I've coached, every coach is trying to, steal plays. If I think that's a great play, I'm going to steal it from you. I look at it this way with the Stallion Connors or whatever that dude's name is for Michigan and the scouting stuff. Yeah, he did some stuff inappropriately, but let's be honest, man. Scouting has been around for 1,000 jillion years. I don't care if you're talking warfare. I don't care if you're talking sports. People scout all the time. People mimic each other's plays. Like the fumble Ruski that we did in Chicago, the fake fumble and the throw for touchdown. Somebody's going to use that again this year. Is it a big deal to me? No. Is it making you more scoutable? Yes, but at the end of the day, like we said earlier, if you can't stop it, it doesn't matter. I guarantee you anybody who coaches against me probably knows about 5 or 20 plays that we're going to run. Great. Can he stop it? If not, I'm going to keep running it. D. Elliott, the Lions getting Parsons for a season could be similar to the Rams making the move for Von Miller. And now we know that how that turned out. Yeah, D, that's a great point. If you think about the Von Miller move, remember at that point in the season, they had Stafford. I want to say the Rams had gone on a bit of a losing streak. There were some questions that would make the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl. So what draft capital they had left, they threw in to get Von Miller, and that did push them over the over the hump and got them there, although it wasn't clean. They almost didn't make the Super Bowl. DCAT, I'd take a 12-5 record as long as we get into the playoffs healthy and make it to the championship game at least, possibly the Super Bowl. I'd take all the above, DCAT. Let's see, Henry Moore, is anyone still getting the pop-up ads on here? Let me know. I don't know. On my screen, I don't see anything, but that's because they don't interrupt the host, I guess. Kurt Steele, I hate that Hassanein got hurt. Me too, man. But you know what? Football, it's going to happen. Xavier, I think the Lions will beat Packers and Bears, go 2-0. I like the way you're thinking. I got one Henry. It happens. Gary, don't want to give up future picks. Don't want huge contracts with the contracts we already have. Just stay the course. Brad knows what he is doing and will get us to the promised land. I like it. I like it indeed. Johnny L. Anymore, I am. The Rebel 08, hope Hassanein heals fully, exclamation point, as well as the speedy recovery. I'm down with that. Let's see, Hookadoo. I agree, Kurt. He was my top rookie this year. All right, I'll go with that. Silver Server, I am not going to mention optimism about about any player as they are going down like bowling. Depends. Yeah, I just take the entire team. See what we can do. Arrested Development, I'll take that. Taylor Made Media, an OG of the chat. King SJ, good morning, coach, and Duke Crew, back at you. Ron Branch needs to be here. I agree with that. Stack Dean, I would love for the Lions to run the table on the division and go undefeated second time. Life is good, beating up on the conference falls. I'm down with that, man. If we can go undefeated again, that'd be impressive because this is a pretty good division. The Rebel, come on, Duke Crew, smash all the buttons. If you would be so kind, that'd be great. Kurt Steele, King SJ, what up, though? We'll find out. D. Elliott, the only record that matters is making the playoffs and then the Super Bowl. Hassanein is going to bounce back better than ever. You can already see he's got something special. I agree. This dude will run through a wall to get back, and I think he will get back. Let's see, Kurt Steele, Teslaa, I'm down with that. Johnny L, BB is staying here. I like the way you're thinking. Bubbles, when I used to bowl, my pins were singing. I'm still standing. All right, fair enough. Let's see, Gary, Ahmed will be fine. Just give him the time to fully heal. Yeah, don't rush him. I don't think they will. Let's see, Kim, Hassanein is like Hutch. He'll do whatever it takes to come back top form as soon as possible. Grit. He's got some massive grit. Marcus, we talking about practice, exclamation point, not a game, practice. Yes, indeed. Earl, good morning, everyone. Back to you. Coach Rock, Teslaa has great hands and can throw the ball further than Goff. Think there will be a trick play against the Bears. Who knows, man? Maybe eventually he'll be the starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions. I'm kidding. The Rebel, odds are Teslaa is going to make a lot of people look silly at some point. Probably very accurate. Attila the Hun, Ben Johnson, and the Bears will be very predictable this season, and he doesn't have the same level of talent he had in Detroit. Could be accurate, 100% there. Here's, man, if Goff can catch a second TD against Benedict, wouldn't that be some? Ron, let's see, that would be stupid to get rid of Branch. I agree fully. Why would you get rid of one of your best players to acquire another player? That makes sense to me. Okay, yeah, Bo, my pins would still laugh at me. It happens, man. We've all been there. Silver Server, D. Elliott agreed, and even more important, let's enjoy the season one game at a time. What happened to that good old habit of old Lions fans? Question mark. We used to be happy with every single victory at the bowl. Yeah, and you know what? Every single victory was like a Super Bowl for us because we didn't get that many back in the day. Till Goff and Teslaa will be doing that against several of the best DBs in the league. I agree, 100%. Johnny L. Bo Booth laughing. Kurt Steele Pierce Law, that would be funny, wouldn't it be? Great Lakes, good morning, all. Do you think we keep three quarterbacks? I don't. I think right now, unless it's somebody who's not currently here, I just don't think it's – I would look at it this way. Would you keep a third quarterback on the 53 when you think you're getting rid of a better player somewhere else? That's how I look at it. I would keep the best players, two good. A third one would be added and secured or protected on the practice squad. Carrie, show me when Anzalone gets repeatedly roasted by anyone. I want to see that. There were some people talking about it when you had one-on-one videos. I want to say early camp stuff. You know, he got beat by, was it Gibbs? He got beat by other people, but it wasn't like clear separation. But let's face it, one-on-one drills do favor the offensive player. The Rebel, I truly think that we will be forced to start Teslaa sooner than later. I think he could be. We'll wait and see. I mean, it's one thing from going against 2s to 3s to the 1s, but so far all signs are at some point he's probably going to crack that lineup. Pierce Good Steele and celebrate right in front of Ben, and Ben talked smack about Goff. If I were DC, I would pay Goff's fine for that. I'm down with that. Coach Rock, Pierce, you showing him some love for Davenport, yet he's looking good. He is looking good from all reports. Dylan, I see a 13-4 record this season with a more demanding schedule. Aleem and Rodriguez are ahead of schedule. Yeah, and the fact, I was talking about it with Jenny yesterday and some other people, I think some of you guys in messages, the fact that Mekhi Wingo is back like a month and a half ahead of time, coming back from the ACL injury, even though it's no longer career ending like it used to be, it's still a difficult process. I've seen one player I've coached come back in 4 months, and I can tell you that person put in so much work. We had to try to slow them down at times for fear that they would damage themselves. But they did get back in the playing field in 4 months. That's incredible. That's insane. What Mekhi Wingo just pulled off at the NFL level to get cleared, and yes, he's not going to go through full drills anytime soon, but the fact he's out there and been cleared, that's a massive, just kudos to the training staff. All right, Silver Pierce, that's a good one. And on the last play of the game for the victory in Chicago, end of the season, and getting the playoffs because of it. All right. Dre Day, Anzalone got killed by Gibbs and Teslaa. Yeah, but it happens. It happens. Pierce, Coach Rock, let's see, waiting until week 5 to see if he's still healthy. All right. Lauren, send Hooker back home. It might be. Meg Hustle, talk about somebody I haven't seen in a hot minute. I hope Dan Campbell is cautious with certain interviews like Costa and Jana, 97.1 during the season. They're always trying to make him go viral so other teams, can get some info on this coaching. Yeah, I think you're right with that. You do have to be careful as a coach not to inflame any team, give them bulletin board material. Pierce, Rock M, trends are trends until they aren't anymore. And can't ignore the body of the games played and missed. Yeah, I'll go with that. The Rebel, go home. Young man, go home. Michael, don't sell the farm because of the tractor has a flat tire. You fix it. The flat continues to farm with it. All right. Ken, good morning. Another person I haven't seen in a minute. Good morning, Dan and crew. Exclamation point. Trade Brian Branch. Question mark. Are you guys crazy laughing out loud? It's one of the people, was it Mike Valetti and Mike Tannenbaum both have suggested. I don't see it happening. Coach Rock, hoping he's getting attaboy after week 5. Let's hope so. Hookadoo, Pierce, that would be great. And hard ball, Ben or Johnson. I'll take that. Lauren, Noah Johnson from the Michigan Panthers is a really good center. We'll check him out. Brett, agreed. Pierce, until the hunt, Lions need one of KC, Jay, Lynn, or Wingo to excel this season, with Muhammad being consistent behind Davenport. Yeah, I like that. I like that indeed. Pierce, we're going to just drop in his feet. All right. Great legs, push the button, push all the buttons. Thank you for that. Lauren, where is JDC? That I don't know. Silver, BB is BB. How can you not love him? Question mark. Hutch, JMO, Laporta, BB, and then Gibbs? Question mark. Hope they all can get them back. And then ask why I laugh about Parsons and Hendrickson. No, I get it 100%. Trim Reaver, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! Back at you. The Rebel. And signed Z while him and Cashdell are still on good terms. Yes, it sounds like they're back together. At least that's what I was been told. Meg I also love John Morton calling plays in the upper booth. NFL commentators keep trying to zoom in the Lions plays when we had Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. Yeah, they try to get stuff on TV for sure. All right, guys, we got 8 minutes left. I'm going to try to power through the chat. If you've been on a lot, I'll probably try to get some other people just so we spread the wealth a little bit. D. Elliott. Confidence and system fits are major factors for quarterbacks. Yeah, very few quarterbacks can go from any system to be successful. Most do need the correct system. Mike the Marine Gunny, howdy, Dana Duke Crew. Woo! Back at you. Let's see, 89, Dr. Funk. For some reason, I thought Micah Parsons went to Alabama. I didn't know he went to PSU. There you go. Silver. Drady, how can Anzalone, a decent athlete, keep up with 2 sprinters on a single assignment? Just to train Anzalone to keep up with the best. Yeah, the fact that he's in the conversation with it and they have faith in him, that says something. I say go all in, say paid blank, say 84, I'll take that. Silent service, we are not training a hooker. Maybe not. Carrie, prayers for North Carolina. I like the way you're thinking. Johnny L, all right, go with that. Let's see, Brent, prayers for North Carolina. Send service. Parsons is about Parsons, don't want him. Carrie, get the heck out of the coast of North Carolina. Thomas, Trey Hooker, question mark. For what 2 parking lot attendants, a hot dog vendor, and a ticket? All right, we'll consider those terms. Let's see, dear Pierce, I hope Martin makes the team, especially after all that he's had to overcome, and praying for all those in North Carolina. I like that indeed. Coach Rock, Stephanie, I'm with you on Martin. At least protect him from the practice squad. Need the depth. I like it. Yeah, let's keep him developing. Kurt Steele, I live in central North Carolina. My area is not expected to be affected by the storm. All right, glad to hear, my friend. Michael. These ads are messing with me. All right. Yeah, I don't know anything about the ads, I guess. So y'all have to try to watch the rewind or something like that. Let's see. Cynthia, you could always move to Detroit and be a lot closer to the Lions. There you go. Thomas, Big Z, we will be back after game 1. Silent service. I live by the if you're not 15 minutes, you're an hour late. Yes, I'll take that. Yeah, it's old school coaching terms. Josh, who will we trade for edge rusher? That's a great question. I don't know. Phil, trade for Mountain Dew would have to be Diet Dew and regular mix, but it has to be from Circle K. I agree with everything you just said. Good morning to you, Phil. Pierce, Prince, excuse me, Josh Prince, who do we trade for an edge rusher now? That I don't know. Silver Server, has anybody touched that big defensive tackle in the Raiders release? I don't think so. That's a great question, but I don't think so. James, I wish they kept Hooker and have him as the emergency quarterback. Yeah, they may. They may indeed. Let's see, Church. Good morning, Coach and Dew Crew. Let's have a great day. Woo! Back at you. Great Lakes. Hooker needs time with the one. So much pressure every time. Yeah, that's part of the position. Pressure. DM5 Silver Server. That's my guys. All messed up mentally and emotionally. I agree. I think he's struggling a little bit emotionally right now. Thomas, GLSG, exactly. All right. Johnny L, I'm done for the day. See y'all tomorrow. We'll see you then. Pierce, Hookadoo, DDI caused the ads. Ooh, could be some breaking news there. Trim Reaper, have a great hump day, coach and crew. Exclamation. Oh, yeah. Back at you. James, Kate Branch, Lions don't need Parsons. I'll take that. The Murd 1-6-2. I can kind of agree with a 12-5 record, except I'd say 13-4 because I'm going to the Tampa Bay game, and I've never been a game where we have lost. Not on wood. Yeah, you've never been to a game we've lost. That's good. We need to send you to all the games then. Let's see, Thomas. Let's get you to every playoff game. I'm down with that. Server. Silent service. In the end, Parsons stays in Dallas and Trey stays in Cincy. Could be. Kurt Steele, Jacob, I said your name correctly on today's show. I probably did not, unfortunately. James, I'd rather get a Mr. Irrelevant than a Micah Parsons. Okay. TNC Hall, good morning, Duke Crew. Exclamation point. The non-laughers, yes on the ads. Okay. Again, on my side, I don't see them, so nothing I can do about that. I know YouTube does play ads. Moonscar, yes on ads today. Thomas, to me, on the back end of our D, Branch is by far the most available. He's played Pro Bowl every level everywhere. Yeah. So one quick question before we get too close to the end of the show. In regards to the ads, how often are they popping up? Are they all the time? I guess, again, I don't see them, so I don't know this stuff. All right, Thomas, totally agree. If you have a play that they can't stop and keep running it, it's Green Bay Packers powerhouse of the 60s. Everyone knew it. Everyone could not stop it. Yeah, agree with that. Moonscar, question for the Dew Crew. Those that are getting ads, were you in the chat prior to the 7 a.m. launch or the show? Yeah, and I guess the other thing is, are you watching on a phone? You're watching on a TV? I know these are contributing things, and I don't have all the answers for it, unfortunately. Lionel, yes, I had 2 ad breaks so far. Okay, but 2 in 50 minutes, that's not too bad. Or if you've been here since 6:30, over an hour. Pierce, I've had 2, and yes, I was here before 7. Okay, Brent, no ads here, and I popped in late. Henry Moore, I still bowl, and those pins sitting there, that's some same old song. Singing the same old song, Moonscar Boy. Dan and I texted each other about the ads a week ago. I usually don't get them if I am in the chat prior to 7 and don't have to relaunch the show. Close and reopen. Okay, Jonathan, good morning. Back at you. Hookadoo, I was in the chat around 6:40, Moonscar. Phil, is that Ahmed's first major injury? That, I don't know. I didn't really pay a ton of attention to him in college. Maybe somebody else knows. Silver Server. Now, Teslaa could have been a true running quarterback. Not Hooker, bless him. All right. Moonscar, we are at 130 likes now. Let's see if we get another ad break. It might be linked to when the show breaks a certain number, like 50 or 100. Yeah, that's beyond my wise words of wisdom. I know some people have talked about it. I just don't know about it. Brent just got an ad. Hey, well, congratulations. Ken, Skunk, Tomato Juice. We'll find out. Gary, I've been getting ads for a couple of shows. All right. Let's see. Kurt Steele, YouTube is trying to send more money to the show that are monetized. Yeah, that might be. I don't know. Silver Sword, Gary, me too. They are disgusting. Let's see. Hookadoo. The second ad was about 10 minutes ago. Moonscar and Brent. Yeah, I guess if you're getting one every 10 to 20 minutes, I mean, that's not that bad. Pierce, Hookadoo, DDI, Silver Surfer laughing. Kurt Steele, Pierce Sargent is laughing. Hookadoo, yep, DDI to the ads. Moonscar Blade, Rock On turns ads off himself after 75 or 100 likes. So there's a way the host can do that while on air. Yeah, I'll have to look in that. I just don't know anything about it. Keith, get Z and save more money for next year. We have a lot of bills coming due soon. I agree with that. Kings, let's see, 1973. I wish Fox would give Pat McAfee and Tony Romo a contract to announce games together. Maybe they will. That's a good suggestion. Gary, seems like all the people that comment the most. All right, Moodscar, go Lions. Bear drum, the Packers smell. Bears dumb, Packers smell. Vikings are dressed funny. I'll take that. James, happy trails. Dan and Duke Crew, if you have anything new, let us know. I will. If there's breaking news today, I will. Brent, skip the teddy bears, toilet seats, and douchebag fans. I'll take that. Let's see. Hookadoo, I like the way you're thinking, Moonscar Blade. Bo, happy trails, Duke Crew. All done, dusted for another day. See you later. We'll see you then. Brent, happy trails. One pride worldwide. Exclamation point. Carrie, DDI equals ads, laughing out loud. Just got 2 writing this. Sorry about that. Moonscar, catch you on the next one. Brett DeWitt, Mr. True Grit. We'll take that. Let's see. Hookadoo, happy trails, Duke Crew. One pride worldwide. Bear on down. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Carrie, agree. Brett, Phil, I have premium, so no ads. Yeah, if you have YouTube premium, yeah, you don't get the ads. Non-lifers, I think I'm on 6 or so, but honestly, Burns, phone, 2 ads. Hey, that's not bad at all in an hour-long show. Service are right. If ads pop up, at least pay the coach, okay? Joe, this is the first time I've seen ads when you were live. Yeah, again, on my end, I just don't see them. Hookadoo, I've been an hour since you started, and I got 2. Yeah, but 2 ads in an hour? I mean, that's not too bad, I would think, at least. Let's see, Carrie, happy trails. We'll see you then. All right, guys, if there's breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. If you would be so kind before checking out, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live.
Thank you.